I'm very happy to have another young Indian with us, Voice of the Young series. Hello, everyone. Good to be back. Right now, we have with us Neil Madan. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Neil.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to feature me in your Vidped series. To introduce myself, I am Neil Madan, a 20-year-old currently on the brink of turning 21. I am in my final semester pursuing a Bachelor's of Commerce honors at Hansraj College, University of Delhi. To talk about my academic foundation, it was laid at Delhi Public School, Gurgaon, where I completed both my 10th and 12th grades in commerce with maths. In the forthcoming Vidped, I aim to share my insights and reflections on various aspects of my college life, encompassing aspects like internships, placements, academics, extracurricular activities, and the unique experience of living independently for the first time. Additionally, I also plan to shed some light on some pivotal opportunities that shaped my path, particularly during my school years only. These opportunities played a very important and a crucial role in my journey to my college, which is Hansraj. And I believe that they were instrumental in shaping myself as a person that I am today. I look forward to refining and smoothing out these narratives as we proceed.
Okay.
Starting with my school life, two distinct experiences stand out as pivotal and important in preparing me for my transition to college. The first one was my participation in an exchange program in Germany, where I spent an entire month living with my exchange partner, who was obviously a foreigner. This unique opportunity got me in a different student culture and environment and weather extremes that initially challenged my health, because the weather in Germany is usually very extreme and usually it is very cold. The summers that we have there is cold for us, so it's very challenging.
Yeah.
That However, overcoming these hurdles allowed me to gradually accustom myself and contributed to my personal growth. The exchange program proved to be obviously a blessing in disguise, particularly enhancing my ability to comfortably interact with people, a quality that I had struggled with before. The second transformative experience was being appointed as the in charge of Shiksha Kendra, which is a school
Wait a
run.
minute. It was like being thrown into a pool of cold water. Then
Yeah, it
you have to
was
learn to
very,
swim, right?
yeah, it was pretty challenging on that aspect.
Yeah.
uh, because I literally have never been away from my family since I'm a single child,
Yeah.
and it was totally a new experience. My dad, forced this upon me that you have to go and you have to, stay there so that because I aim to pursue my masters abroad after gaining work experience. So he was like that this is very important for you and you have to go. Whereas my mother was on the opposite end. She was saying that no, what will my child do? Or will he survive and all that? So that
So
was the thing.
who was right, your mother or your father or both?
Initially, I felt that it's very difficult to survive. Like, you don't think about the aspects that can cross your path. You, as a as a child in 10th who has just finished his boards and who is going on a flight to Germany, an 18-hour long flight. After getting off from the flight, I'll tell you one experience.
Yeah.
We didn't get the currency. So our school had partnered with some card agency who, loads euros into a card and they give us that after 2 days. And the family till then takes care of your expenses. But the Germans are very smart in their airport security system. What they do is that in their trolley, you have to install a coin
Yeah.
that is in euro,
Yeah.
and then the trolley operates.
Yeah.
But here I didn't have euros and I had to drag my three bags along with myself. One of them didn't even have a wheel. So that aspect didn't cross my mind. And usually now when I travel, I always check whether the bag has wheels or not because God knows what might.
Yeah.
These were just one of,
But
yeah.
did you know German at all, or you were just learned?
I only so I studied French as a second language in my school. And I had initially applied for a French exchange program, but those seats were given to elder people, obviously because of they were more proficient in French. And I didn't know German a lot, but that wasn't a hindrance because the people there knew some of them knew English better than me,
Okay.
and they also study multiple languages. Like my partner knew German, English. He also tried to learn Hindi from me, but it was a very difficult task. He also, learned Spanish. So those people are very adjusting, as opposed to the common mentality of them being rude.
Okay, wonderful. All right. So after Germany, what was the next one you were telling us about?
Yeah, so my second experience was being appointed as the in charge of Shiksha Kendra, which is a school run by DPS Gurgaon, dedicated to educating, the underprivileged children. It is a school which operates after the school hours so that we do not get hindrance in our classes. Like we can dedicate them ourselves fully to those children. So, leading a group of DPS students in teaching topics such as cleanliness, personal hygiene, personal finance, and general subjects, which were not there in the curriculum which was provided by CBSE in 12th and 10th. Teaching those subjects to the Shiksha Kendra provided me with a profound shift in my perspective. It allowed me to, see the world from a very different angle, to see what the challenges are for the people who are not very privileged. And it was a chance for me to foster empathy and a deeper understanding of the societal challenges. These experiences collectively laid the foundation for my college journey, shaping not only my mindset, but I would say that it influences the choices that I make in my life till now also.
Okay.
The people that I led during the team that I led during this Shiksha Kendra stint was a team of DPS students only, which were from my batch. And we used to plan upon the sessions that we would use to give to those children. And surprisingly, they would pick it up very, very fast. They were excellent in learning. So that was the second experience that shaped me for my college life. Uh, Now comes college. Upon entering the college, I found myself surrounded by, multitude of opportunities. And admittedly, it was a bit overwhelming. Initially, I struggled with uncertainties, questioning whether choosing commerce as a discipline was, the right decision or not,
Hmm.
because I was, very much surrounded with people with a similar performance in academics. Till school, the class used to be distributed among people, that were weak, that were average. But at Hansraj, they were all top notch, and I was surrounded by such an environment in which I was very, very tensed.
Yeah.
In the second semester, I also told my mom that I won't be able to continue. I don't think this is the right choice for me. I might go to a private college and learn there, because in a government college like in University of Delhi, the teachers don't help you very much. You have to find your own way, and you have to struggle with academics, and also there are a plethora of other opportunities that are available. Also, there are less assignments and less opportunities for you to score marks in this, and the testing criteria and the marks giving criteria is also very like strict.
Yeah.
So you have to struggle with low scores as a child who has got, above 95 in his 12th, getting between 7 and 8 CGPA in his second semester. It was quite a shock for me.
Hmm.
That was a very, uh, scary experience.
Mm-hmm.
However, as time progressed, my initial uncertainties began to lower as I had scored a less than stellar performance in my second semester. But now, as I find myself in the final semester, I'm in the sixth semester, and I graduate in June, I can reflect on a very transformative academic journey. Commerce, I discovered, strikes a balance between theory and practicality. While it may not be technically intensive as economics, this was also one of the reasons I chose commerce, because it is not very technically intensive,
Mm-hmm.
and it allows me to focus on other opportunities too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the thing. It focuses on subjects from tax and business laws to human resource management principles, and even more quantitative areas like mathematics, costing, and accounting. So, this blend of theoretical and practical elements has provided me with a very good understanding of the discipline, which helped in resolving my earlier doubts and solidifying my confidence. Also, adjusting to the college life was a noticeable shift from the structured environment of school, as I earlier said, where teachers
Yeah.
guided and
Yeah.
supervised academic
Yeah. Yeah.
responsibilities very closely.
Hmm.
The realization that in college, especially within Delhi University again, the responsibility for performance rests primarily in the student, which was a very significant shift.
Okay.
Yeah. The shift from a more guided approach to a self-directed learning environment was instrumental, in shaping my independence and provided me with the challenges and opportunities that college presented. Very unique. I would like to add very unique challenges and opportunities that college presented. Uh, Moving on to another
So
part.
they actually teach
Yeah,
you, you said they don't teach much, but they actually teach you independence.
yeah, they like teach you to be very independent. Like even if
Yeah.
they don't teach you half of the syllabus, chances are you still pass.
Yeah.
They train you to that extent.
Yeah.
So that's a good quality which I could find amongst
Yeah.
the many.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
Now,
all right. Let's continue.
yeah. So now comes the world of college societies. It was a very important aspect of my college journey. Hansraj has approximately 50 societies. Societies are, as you may know, they are a group of students who focus on a particular discipline, whether it be dance, music, or any other thing such as finance, investment, economics, or even commerce. So they plan events, they perform, they conduct sessions, collaborate with people, and do everything. Basically, it's a opportunity to network and expand your knowledge.
Hmm.
So I currently serve as the joint secretary and a core team member of an Actus chapter at my college.
Yeah.
So Enactus is particularly an international society. It is an organization, in fact, not-for-profit organization that focuses on solving socio-economic issues through innovative measures. I would give you three examples that my college is currently involved in. One of them has been independent, and two projects we are currently running. So the first initiative that we are currently involved in is Project Meher, which addresses the issues of floral pollution by transforming the discarded flowers which we offer to the deities in the temples into valuable products like potpourri, organic compost, and natural dyes. So potpourri is that product which you usually find under glass tables and as decorative items which are artificially scented, and they are not found to be very beneficial for the environment. They're not good for the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So that. And what sets this project apart is its collaborative approach, involving the participation of a transgender community in Delhi in the manufacturing process. Because, see, we got this idea to involve a transgender community because in India, the transgenders are often, not allowed to enter into the temples. So we say, why not involve them and let them take care of this?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So the second project is SRs, which strives to create employment opportunities for specially abled individuals while imparting them with essential skills for their own self-sufficiencies and to make them self-dependent. Our collaboration recently was with a cafe, which is Mitti Cafe. So it is a chain of cafes which is based in Bangalore, and it is entirely run by specially abled individuals, which further, intensifies the impact of our project. The upcoming first anniversary of the Delhi branch, located within our college and established on February 3rd, 2023, marks a significant milestone in this journey. So
Okay.
it is a very important part for me. And the third project, which has now gone independent and taken care of by the beneficiaries only, its name is Vriddhi, and it was born way back. It was born approximately 5, 6 years back. It is a very old project. So we as members have been very less involved in it, but it is very close to our hearts. So this project basically focuses on using stubble-based boards for constructing washrooms and creating various products, which contributes to both environmental sustainability and rural development. You see that in the areas of Punjab and Haryana, often there are stubble which is burnt,
Yeah.
the waste crops residue which are burnt, and that causes a huge lot of pollution. It causes diseases amongst people. People die and they develop various disabilities for life. So to lessen this impact, we brought in Priti. And what attracted me particularly to Enactus was that the intersection of entrepreneurship and social impact. It has been a very defining and enriching aspect of my college life. So I was earlier involved with Shiksha Kendra, and that instilled in me a spirit to help people with their life. And Enactus obviously gave me this opportunity to help people in their life and make them feel good, make them feel that they are not discarded from the society and they can actually do something and make an impact. So that was the thing that attracted me and why it is very important to be engaged. Nactus as a society, transformed my journey from a hesitant speaker to being featured in news channels like NDTV and Doordarshan, uh, although in a 15-second clip. But that too was a very unique experience. And it was both for our Mitti Cafe initiative. Because the Mitti Cafe, which was opened in our college, was the first one that was opened in Delhi. And recently it has been opened in Supreme Court also. So
Okay.
it suddenly gained the popularity. Uh, Moving on to another aspect, I would say that engaging in internships during college is one's college life, is very crucial for practical exposure in the corporate realm. In my fourth semester, I interned at two organizations. One was PwC India in management consulting, contributing to a supply chain tax white paper report. A white paper report is a report on which no, which is used basically as a reference report, and it is a topic which is usually kept to help the employees on a particular project. It is personalized. It is not personalized for a particular thing. It helps to gain perspective. Yeah. So this was a hybrid internship,
Mm.
and it involved office visits from my North Campus PG. I lived in a PG because I reside in Nagpur, Maharashtra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it involved office visits from my North Campus PG to the Gurgaon office and provided valuable insights into the corporate operations, projects, and extensive resources at their disposal. This experience significantly enhanced my understanding of the corporate landscape. I still remember that they were very strict about the timings. They were very strict about the work ethics, and PwC as an international organization is very well reputed. It is one of the big four organizations, very well known in the auditing field. So it gave me quite a check
Mm.
because I wanted to first pursue a job and then go on to pursue my master's since work experience is appreciated abroad to get masters in certain fields. This really gave me a check that you cannot survive as a corporate unless you are disciplined and determined.
Mm.
You just cannot. It's not like college that you
Mm.
can skip classes and everything. It's totally upon yourself.
Mm.
My second internship was at Grant Thornton Bharat LLP in ESG consulting. So
Mm.
ESG is basically environmental, social, and governance. Its full form is that. So it is particularly a science field, and it was an entirely new field for me because I am from a commerce discipline. So regarding how I got that internship is quite a story. It was completely incidental. The journey began with a case competition at SRCC. It was a policy consulting case competition which me and my friends enrolled for just for fun. We didn't know that it would convert into an opportunity.
Yeah.
The case revolved around sustainable fashion. In the final round, we were required to present the case in front of two judges who were from Grant Thornton only. And one of the judges, coincidentally liked a presentation and offered an interview opportunity for the ESG intern role.
Yeah.
This internship was 1 month long, and it covered the significance of how important it is to participate in extracurricular activities during college.
Mm-hmm.
And it showcased how a single competition could lead to valuable industry exposure and activities.
Yeah.
Regarding how I, you know, dealt, deal dealt with this opportunity was very, not very challenging because ESG as a field is very
Mm.
interesting, but you really have to get into it and understand the technicalities that they use.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still remember that we were given the jobs that were, you know, very repetitive. We were
Mm.
given the jobs to tally the
Mm.
waste material that is, released by the organization, such as in paper and plastic bottles, whether they
Mhm.
match with their bills, how much do they waste do they emit, in participating in reports, preparing crafts. It was a completely different experience, but
Yeah.
it is in the field of consulting only. So I thought, why not to give this a try? It was for 1 month only, and it was in my summer vacations, so there was not much pressure regarding that aspect. Uh, Now, the final phase, which I was diligently preparing for, was the placement season, which
Yeah.
turns out to be both hectic and disappointing at
Yeah.
first. Despite days spent honing guesstimates, cases, and riddles, I came to realize that the success in on campus placements often depends on factors which are beyond preparation. They're not
Right.
in your control.
Right.
It depends on very minute factors such as the interviewer's experience level, whether he's a manager, whether he's a vice president, whether he's just a fresher who is not even 6 months into the organization.
Right.
If he's 6 months into the organization, he'll let you go easy, and if he's a manager, he'll probably grill you.
Yeah.
So these are elements beyond your control. Also, it depends on factors such as whether your interview is scheduled early in the morning or it is in the evening.
Yeah.
Uh, if it is in the evening, then you don't get very good results
Yeah.
probably because the interviewer is frustrated
Yeah.
and he lashes out all his anger upon you. If it is in the morning, he's probably very sleepy. If he is not sleepy, he's fresh and he takes interest and listens to your things.
Mm.
However, if you're not prepared, that's a different thing. But
Yeah.
as I was prepared, if my interview for an initial role had happened in the morning, then maybe I would have selected for that. So that was the thing. Moving on, despite aiming for a consulting role through the campus placements, challenging job market conditions and unforeseen factors led to a series of rejections, triggering very much self-doubt.
Yeah.
The consulting, profile is often seen as a very lucrative career option,
Yeah.
but people don't generally see the bad or the negative side of it. You have to, travel a lot. You have to spend long hours. There are no fixed working hours and all that. But the people, compensate for that by saying that, the salary is enough, compensation is that you get free travel and all that. But after, enduring 13 rejections and a 2 month wait, I realized that the opportunities that get offered in consulting at the undergrad level, though they are very lucrative and higher in pay, but you can even get them after gaining some work experience and probably a better role in consulting.
Yeah.
On the positive side, you will have an experience of two different industries. So it is not necessary and not end of the world if you don't get your dream job. Um,
So hang on. What
yeah.
was your dream job?
So my dream job was I was hearing all about consulting in my college. Consulting is this, consulting is that. You have to get into consulting. It is very amazing. You get many people, you get to talk with people, gain experience, all that. But when I delved deeper into that, I realized that the opportunities that usually come at undergrad colleges are those of a back-end role. You don't
Yeah.
get to interact with people and you don't get to go to, very much client visits. You just get handed the work, which is very repetitive in nature.
Okay.
So that work matches with other job profiles. And if you really want to get into a consulting job, which
Yeah.
involves interacting with people, you can probably get it after masters or gaining a significant work experience for 2 to 3 years.
All right.
Yeah. So that was my dream job. But then I realized that it is not my dream job. My dream job is one where I get to learn something. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, whether I get exposure and salary to in according to some people the salary matters a lot, but for me the compensation is not a very pivotal. Of course, it should be to some minimum level and it should not be merely very low, but it doesn't matter much because it's just my starting, and I believe that I'll gain experience and learn what is best for me.
Yeah.
So after I was saying that after getting 13 rejections in total, I still remember seven of them were from no, five were from consulting companies. So I was particularly very irritated with this aspect.
Yeah.
I reached the final round in two of those and was rejected for reasons unknown to me. I don't
Right.
know why I was
Yeah.
rejected. Uh, After a 2 month wait, I hesitantly opted for one last opportunity, a position in the financial planning and analysis department as an associate analyst. Uh, so I didn't want to engage myself in finance, particularly because I was not very good with maths and numbers. Because particularly why I opted commerce also. So, and commerce as a discipline and commerce in 12th and 10th also. Because I was good with numbers, but not very fascinated by it.
Okay.
So that came in as a necessity that there's a pressure in your mind, you have to do it. So I have done it. That was the thing. I didn't want to get into finance at first. So this process which I had opted for, this role which I had opted to sit in, it was the process of the interviews was an offline one, which gave me a very new experience and it added an extra layer of underconfidence, making it a very testing journey.
Okay.
I didn't know what to expect. And I still remember they called me at 9 and began the interviews at 11. So I was made to sit for approximately 2 hours thinking that whether they would take me or not. I still remember they had shortlisted a total of 13 people. And after the first round, they shortlisted six. I was very thankful to be in those six people.
Yeah.
I felt that it was mere luck and all that for
Yeah.
reasons I don't.
Yeah.
I usually have this habit of undermining myself
Yeah.
and not jinxing, like not saying anything too good about myself, which might lash back to me in the future.
Mhm.
Yeah. So in the second round, they asked me a case for which I like it came across as a shock to me because I didn't prepare much for it. Because in consulting interviews, you're required to prepare for a case and they give you a scenario. Like you have to introduce a new product, the company is facing declining profits, or the profits have suddenly increased. What is the cause? What are the factors you would take into account and all that? But I didn't believe that it would be very necessary to prepare for it in a finance-based role.
Right.
It came as a shock, and but I was able to tackle it well, I think. I still remember they handed me a paper and asked me to list down my thoughts in 5 minutes, and my hands were shaking like anything. They like they just handed me a paper, and three lines were written that you have to give suggestions to the Boston airport that you have to install a self check-in technology, which at the end they told me that it is already there. I thought that it is to be installed, so I was thinking from that perspective, which was necessary to delve deep into the case study. So, um, my hands were shaking very much, and I was very nervous for the interview, probably because I live in a PG also, and I was away from my parents too. Due to that reason, I didn't have food with me, and I didn't eat anything but biscuits from 9 o'clock in the morning to
Yeah.
7 in the evening.
Yeah.
So, due to that, I still remember I got a cramp in my lower right calf, and as I sat on the chair, I immediately stood up in the second round, and they asked, "What happened? Why are you behaving like this?" I told that I have a cramp in my right calf, and that's not the issue. Then this completely shattered my confidence because I thought that this didn't give a good impression of me. But they were very considerate and thankfully not like other people who had taken my interview. So that probably because it was offline also, and they believed that it was all right and no very normal for a candidate to be stressed and behave like this. That was the thing. So uh, regarding the case, I tackled it well and came out of the room in 45 minutes. The first interview was around 1 hour. And as I was the first one who was called for the second round of the interview among the six people, so the remaining five people just, bombed me with their questions as I was the first one to be called for the second round. They bombed me with their questions, and it was quite a day. I felt like a celebrity. They were all bombing me. What is asked? What is asked? You tackled it well. You'll definitely get the job. I was like, please don't jinx it. I've already been rejected 13 times. I don't want to be given some hope and all that.
13 was your lucky number, it seems.
Yeah, coincidentally, 13 was my lucky number, and it was quite a thing for me. I don't know how, because 13 is, not. 13 is even not mentioned in apartments, in
Yes.
floors, and even
Yeah.
in apartment numbers.
Yeah.
Somehow turned to be the lucky number for me. So when the results of the second round came, three people were selected, but they said that there would be a third round the next day, and I was among those three people. So there would be a third round the next day. The next day, I had practical for a subject in my fourth semester named financial management. So you are required to work out certain calculations on Excel for that, and you have to prepare certain formulas for that. You have to know those formulas, otherwise you can't do the practical.
Right.
However, you may have studied.
Yeah.
So I still remember that before that practical, I talked to the placement cell of my college, and they told that the call has gone to two other people, and the call has not been gone to you. So I was like, what is happening with me? After being, after struggling for the entire day and making it to the second round, why on earth have they not, given me the call, and what has been wrong? So till the even till the so that also ruined my internal, and the teacher straight away cut 5 months because I had not performed the calculations correctly, and my confidence was completely shattered. I didn't know what to do. All sort of wrong questions were coming into my mind and all that. But I contacted the placement cell again to know the reason. Like I still convinced myself that I would work upon myself. What would be the reason? And to my surprise, they told me that the company didn't feel the need to take a third interview, and you're directly selected.
Ah.
Yeah. So I was like, had you told me this 2 hours back, I would not have ruined my internal, and like my mental state would have completely been different. But I was very relieved that at point that I've finally been selected and all that. You would have told this me earlier, but I didn't tell them any. I didn't scold them obviously because they are the one who are handling this all, and I don't want to ruin my impression in front of them. But that was the thing. The first thing after that was I called my parents and I just burst into tears that it was very special for me. It was a dream come true. So that was the thing. The industry that I had not even thought of being, or thought of even sitting for the interview of, I had been placed in that. I didn't know how to react, whether to be happy, whether to be sad. So that was a thing for me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Congratulations. Congratulations. Well done.
yeah. Thank you. So this was, my journey,
Okay.
in college particularly, which I wanted to share
Okay. So where
through
are
this.
you now? You're still in the sixth semester.
Yeah, I am in my sixth semester. You appear for your placements in the fifth semester. Sorry,
Right.
I said earlier I was in my fourth. I was in my fifth semester.
Yes,
You
right. I
correct?
understand that.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah,
done.
yeah. I aim to prepare for the GMAT in this
Okay.
semester
All right.
and give it, whether with my job or before my job starts,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
So that because the score is also valid for quite some time,
Yeah.
and then gain the experience and just go abroad and study and probably
Okay.
settle, because my father has also been he has also got his education abroad,
Yeah.
and it is a very fascinating place,
Okay. All right.
according to me. Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. Any tips you want to add for students in class 11 and 12?
Yeah, obviously, first tip, for class 11. See, when I first came into class 11th, commerce I had scored well in my 10th. I had scored around 97% overall. So, my parents didn't pressure me at all, but they were like, "Why aren't you taking science? You should do this, and you should become an engineer, or you should opt for medical," as the Indian mentality generally is. But I was like, I don't understand physics. I can't get it at all. And I scored the lowest in science in my 10th, which added up to my, my thing of not taking up science. So they agreed for commerce, although hesitantly, but I opted for commerce. And initially, it was very difficult because if you introduce journal entries to a child who has just come out of 10th, you can't expect him to understand debit, credit, the three basic rules, debit, like you can't expect. So
No.
my advice for the 11th class students would be that you don't have to learn everything at once. You don't have to take the pressure. Accountancy as a subject, in like, it gradually comes to you. And if you understand the basic things such as journal entries, it wouldn't be a problem in 11th at least. In
Yeah.
12th, you are suddenly given three books.
Yeah.
You're suddenly given three books, and it is very difficult at initial, because I also used to take tuitions, and at one point they're covering one book in school, the tuition teacher is covering second book in tuition. I have to give tests of both, prepare for both. So it was a very difficult task. But I would advise the children, particularly for accountancy, that you have to practice it regularly and not learn everything at once. It is not a subject that can be crammed up at the last moment, like subjects like business studies to an extent, which is like, so business studies is theory, and you can leave it on the last 1 2 months before boards to study
Mhm.
it fully, but
Mhm.
not with accountancy, and particularly not with mathematics also.
Okay.
Mathematics was a subject that I feared the most because I scored the lowest in it in 11th. I scored okay, I had not revealed that. Yeah. So in 12th, I focused it with full dedication, and I practiced daily, and like anything, I was like, even after this, if I didn't get marks in maths, I would not opt for BCom honors. Like, I studied like anything, and I built a pressure upon myself that I have to score well, because in due there is a criteria. At my time, there was no CUET, and there was a criteria of the best of 4 percentage. So maths was compulsory to be included in that. Uh, Subjects like, sorry, topics like integration, differentiation, everything comes, and numbers suddenly disappear from maths, which is a general idea that a child has when he enters 12th.
Right.
Yeah. So all sorts of symbols, dx, dy, z, find the value of this and that. You have to delve deep into maths. But as you practice and practice again, it's like, it's not like accountancy, but definitely it is based on understanding. You
Yeah.
have to get the best teacher. If your school teacher is not, although my school and tuition teacher were both very good, but if your school teacher is not enough, then you have to get a good tuition teacher or get a good help in order to understand. Again, you can't cram it up at the last minute. Definitely.
Okay. All right.
And as for economics in 11th, I like was fully inclined towards economics. I believe that it is a very good match for me. But in 12th, you have like, you have Indian economics, which is fully theoretical. At my time, there was Indian economics, which was fully theoretical, and you have macroeconomics, which is like very much understanding. So there was a blend of two things, and I was like, which to study first, what to do. So my advice, if there is still Indian economics in 12th and macroeconomics also, my advice would be to study macro from the first and understand national income to a great extent, because it is very important part of the syllabus. I still remember that those numericals came for like 10 12 months. Although the pattern of board has been changed now, and I believe they're in 2 terms, and everything like that. Also, since the admission criteria into DU has now been changed, the people don't focus now much on boards, and they focus on CUET,
Yeah.
which is the test for undergraduate admission, and they are to get a score out of 800. So they are anyways very, very, as they say, as my juniors also say to me, that they're very, uh, s- academically superior to me, because they had also given an entrance, they have also given two boards and all that. So I believe that the children nowadays are very smart, and
Yeah.
like the batches which are junior to us, they are prepared for this intensive nature, which we were not prepared for, because we, just were prepared for boards, and you score well in boards, your life is set and all that. But we usually came to know of it in college that life is not set. Oh no, you have to do everything all over again.
Yeah.
So that was a thing. And regarding academics, was that English again in 11th and 12th, it was, see, in 12th, I had to focus on English, because the language that I use in English is generally not appreciated by board examiners. They don't like English, which is very complex. Like, I don't use complex English, but the words that I use, uh, for example, I sometimes use acclimatize, or a custom. They don't prefer those words also.
Okay.
That was told by my teacher to me. So my advice for those students would be to not use very complex words in English and keep it simple and clean, as I had kept it in my 10th, and you can get your score in that
Okay.
too. I was given a sixth subject, physical education. Again, it is not a very difficult subject. You just have to perform well in practicals, because that is where they can cut marks. If you have to sort of play, like engage yourself in physical activities, keep yourself fit and all that. If you have physical education, you can perhaps also have computers, or I think marketing also is a choice nowadays in 12th. So that was that. In 11th, I would suggest students that they focus on understanding. The marks are not very important. Yeah, like you have to pass, but it is not very important to get very good marks. Um, because you have to mainly focus on understand. Obviously, if you focus well on understanding, you would get good marks. But generally, it is sometimes it is the case. Like it was with me that I understood maths, but I didn't used to get good marks. Probably because I was very tensed at the time of the exam and everything like that. So in 11th, my advice would be that to focus on the concept, because the concepts that you have in 11th for build a foundation for your transition to 12th.
Okay.
The journal entries in accountancy and everything that you study in accountancy builds a foundation for 12th. If you studied properly in 11th, you can do 12th, otherwise you cannot survive.
Right.
Because I still remember that the junior batches in 11th, they were a COVID batch. So they didn't study very intensively like we did in 11th. And they suffered in 12th because of that, because they were to give boards the next year, whereas we didn't give boards for which we had studied. And our marking was done according to some criteria. So that was the thing. In 12th, you obviously have to make very much sacrifices if you are to enroll in a good government university. Even side by side, you have to prepare for entrances. I also did. And I, however, didn't get my desired rank. And I was very, like, I am not very thankful for that. I believe that I had done better had I been enrolled in another college, and I aimed to do my undergraduation in business, not in commerce initially.
Yeah.
So that changed my perspective and all that. But it is very important to prepare for entrances. I started preparing a bit late,
Okay.
and that impacted my score. So that was the thing regarding in 12th, you have to manage everything like entrances also you have to manage time, schools, tuition, your other coaching. You have to also keep yourself fit so that you don't fall sick at the time of boards, and you have to avoid junk food and everything like that. So that was a thing in 10th, in 12th. So
But
you
you
that in
managed
11th.
it. But you did manage it all in the end.
I believe I managed, but again, college sort of ruined it because I live alone, and PG food is, not, it's good, but it's not very good at certain times also.
All right.
So you eat out, you roam around like anything, and you don't attend classes at first and don't understand. Then you end up getting low marks, and then you understand. So it is a newfound freedom which you get in college, but you have to take care it from the very start. Obviously, you don't. And like all of the people don't, because we are like that we have passed 12 with such good grades, and we'll obviously manage it in college. Colleges are very chill, but they're not chill. So you have to, go into it and get to the best.
Okay. Anything else you want to add here?
Anything in particular for the audience, like
No,
anything?
just whatever's on your mind. If not, then we can end it here. And
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
we'll catch up with you in a year to see where you have landed, how your job is treating you. So let's say bye to the viewers now. And I'll be
Yeah.
back with another young person or an expert soon. Bye till then. Bye, everybody.